to Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herold here on Badlands Media. I am your host, John Herold, and Elfboy is suggesting we change the name of the show to The Daily Trigger, and I'm like partially sold on that. So we'll vote on that. If you agree, maybe put like a 1 in the chat or something. But happy Friday. Hope you all are doing well. John and his new lights. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to... I'm probably going to end up turning this around once I clean off my area over there. So don't get too accustomed to my new background. But yeah, how's the chat doing? Here for the free entertainment. Phil, good to see you, man. The Daily Downer. I'm not a downer, you guys. You guys are downer if you're interpreting that way. It's on you, not me. But we could start off with a story about... Here, this will be a good one to start with before we even get to the ads and everything. CNN poll finds majority of Americans say Trump is focused on the wrong priorities. And the headline on actual CNN, like their main page, majority of Americans think Trump's first year back in office is a failure. Here's what you guys think. I mean, I totally disagree with that. I would say it wasn't what I expected. That's for sure. And I don't necessarily know if that means it doesn't live up to I mean, probably. I don't know. Nobody knew what to expect with Trump coming back, right? None of us knew. And I feel like we all had this feeling it was going to be gangbusters in terms of the accountability side of things. Economically, I think it's in progress, and a lot of the stuff he's done on the geopolitical stage in terms of economic stuff, tariffs, trades, that stuff has been great. I kind of figured it would be, you know. He was great in his first term, doing even better this time around. Seems to give less lefts. But yeah, with the accountability stuff, definitely a downer. But we could look at this poll. I want to read a little bit of this. Public opinion on nearly every aspect of President Donald Trump's first year back in the White House is negative. A new CNN poll conducted by SSRS finds, with the majority of Americans saying Trump is focused on the wrong priorities and doing little to address cost of living. I don't trust polls, but I do like looking at polls, and especially going and looking at the actual data. I haven't done this yet, so I'm going to see if we can find out some info on who they polled. Let's see. Do you approve? No, I have to go to their actual site. This is going to be dumb. Hold for processing. Let's do this. Oh, no, that's not what I want. Go back. Recruited from the opinion panel? I want to know, because like, what if they quoted or polled 75% Democrats? It's not a real representation, and it wouldn't be anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do way too much digging to find the actual data, but I will do that off air. But this is the kind of stuff they're saying about Trump's presidency, and I think there are people in the MAGA movement that are not helping this case. Yeah, maybe I'll save that for Only Lands, a discussion I want to kind of have on this topic. But anyway, there's hardly any good news in the poll for Trump or the Republican Party entering a critical midterm year, with the president's handling of the economy looming as a defining issue in key House and Senate races. There's been so much talk about the midterms lately, even more than normal. Even some of these headlines. There was this. Trump got interviewed by Reuters, however you say that word. White House insists Trump is joking about canceling midterm elections. I personally hope he's not joking about that. If Trump was a rug, I'd stand on him. I would too. How do I share a meme? Share a meme where? Badlands Media fan, the Maha changes are paving the way for major shifts in health going forward. Totally different direction than we were headed. Ash 1776. I think it's a raging success on certain metrics: immigration, weaponization, Trump derangement. Yeah, definitely. I would really say that the biggest holdup I have even is just the accountability stuff, and maybe even to the lack of progress we've had in actually addressing election security. Those are the two big things. Elections are obviously like, that's my number one issue. I've said that forever. I still believe it. And while we get these stories all over the place, and we get some wins, I feel like we still get some losses too, and we still haven't had 2020 exposure. Not saying that's not coming, but to me, that is something that's like a box that needs to be checked. And without that being checked at any point, then it's a failure, regardless of what else happens. It's my kind of mindset on it. We need to check that box. Are we going to go through the midterms without checking it? Probably. That would suck, but probably. It's the elections, and all the BS we've gone through since 2016 just for supporting Trump, and how many times we've sounded crazy to our friends and family, being like, oh yeah, there's all this weaponization, Hillary Clinton, all them, they're going to jail, like they did these crimes, Trump's got them. And that's like not even saying that's not even sounding that crazy. Some people go even further into the rabbit hole with their friends and family, and then they lose their friends and family. And we're kind of waiting for that, like, told you so moment. And I would love to have that eventually. Richard Rohr, John, we're trying to drain as much swamp without harming too many people because they burn the world down to rule over the ashes. Kids, stop reading fake and gay news. That is literally the whole premise of this show, is reading fake and gay news. So I don't know what I'd do otherwise on this show if I didn't do that. So seems like quite a few mega influencers have taken the paycheck to sow division. Yeah, this is something I don't know. I'm like torn on this issue because I understand, like, and there's different ways to do it. There's one way where you're actually sowing division, and those are the people that I've talked about before, where they're, you're basically going after Trump's actual credibility. Like, you're going after his competence. You frame it in a way that he doesn't actually know what he's doing. That I'm not supportive of at all. But I am 100% supportive of conversations, debate, friction on the issues. Exposing fraudulent scam, Rockefeller AMA sick care is what we voted for, not cheaper poisons and perpetual stupidity. Phil Scarborough, the richest man in history, is using the platform he owns to highlight election fraud to his 232.2 million followers on a regular basis. That's a good thing. Consider and in context of where we are 24 months. Glenn Ogle, 78.9% of statistics are made up on the fly. I love that. But yeah, Phil, you're right. I mean, I'm not saying people talking about it, that's a great step, especially Elon Musk. But talking about it isn't enough. Like, we gotta get over that hurdle, whatever that looks like. Supreme Court just gave standing to candidates. Tina Peters' case is breaking at right time. Trust Trump good. Yep, all that stuff's great. But if you listen to Ash on yesterday, and you probably watch Why We Vote later today, having to do with the Tina Peters thing, it may not be as much about election fraud. Like, I don't think that's going to be where we get the election fraud from. Exposing the fraud and not fighting to correct the fraud is not helping. You guys have got some great comments today. Lots of exposure, but none in the mainstream media. Media is critical for massive exposure. Who cares if they call us crazy? I mean, I don't care. But it's not as much about the I told you so. Like, while that will feel great, it's just that being able to say I told you so to those people means that we've fixed a lot of things, and we've gotten the accountability for those who've tried to destroy this country. Keith Higgins, what's up, my triggers with the hard R? Jessica, the other night I was watching a podcast, or I always watch. In my opinion, the show wasn't the best, so get this, instead of complaining, calling names and arguing, I turned it off and wait for it. Nothing happened. I'm confused. In my opinion, the show wasn't the best. So get this instead of complaining, calling names, and arguing. I see what you're saying, I guess. I don't know. As the midterms get closer and closer, while we at Badlands, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I don't care about the midterms. I don't care about elections at all anymore, really. Like, my mindset on that has changed drastically because of them being fraudulent. Until we get some sort of legitimate system in there, I don't care. But that's not how everybody feels. And so as the midterms get closer, there's going to be this weird, awkward tension over every little thing, and it's only going to get worse. Like, the annoying bullshit we're seeing right now is only going to get worse. And a lot of it's going to be fabricated. But it's coming. Phil Scarborough, if the Venezuela is stealing our elections narrative as a CIA op, wouldn't the old legacy mainstream media be covering it? Maybe. Is John being a negative Nancy yet? No. I'm doing good. But here, let's I'm going to do our sponsors quick, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about this and jump at an interview with Reuters yesterday, and it was really good. I think I already said that. At least really good topics. So I want to read through that story. I got a whole bunch of stuff from yesterday. I have more tabs open on my computer right now than I probably ever have in its history. So we should have plenty to discuss. But yeah, first up, we got Rattlesnake Meats. These guys are awesome. We have been trained to buy cheap, fast, and processed, but cheap comes at a cost, which is your health, the land, the animals. At Rattlesnake, they take no shortcuts, no subsidies, just premium pasture-raised beef and chicken that's real, honest, and worth it. Think differently, eat better, bite back at Big Egg. Grab your pasture-raised meat now. Order at rattlesnakemeats.com/Badlands and use promo code Badlands. Support Badlands Media and get a little discount. I believe in the process. And then we also got Tamarac Gardens. These guys are fantastic as well. Hopefully they're coming to Nashville. Would love to see them again. Are you looking for a better alternative to the over-the-counter drugstore medications? Tamarac Garden began from a parent's desperate need for safe and effective options for their kids, tired of toxic chemicals. Taking matters into their own hands, they began crafting medicine from weeds, wildflowers, and herbs, the original time-tested healers that modern medicine cannot match. Packed with antiviral herbs to boost immunity and fight illness, Tamarac Garden has, for a limited time, their elderberry and rose hip syrup kit available. Not only is it delicious, no more battles with kids, and easy to make, it will keep you and your family healthy all fall and winter. Also introducing Tamarac Garden's new baby line, clean, non-toxic, and gentle for newborns and moms, relieving cradle cap, diaper rash, stretch marks, and postpartum pain. Go to tamaracgarden.com today and use promo code Badlands for $10 off orders over $50. Remember to eat your weeds. tamaracgarden.com, promo code Badlands. Gator, the best shows have different opinions and lots of disagreements. Who wants echo chambers? Spot on. So are you voting the midterms yet, John? I'll probably go through the motions while fully knowing that our elections are fraudulent. It's mainly just because I want to get the sticker, and my kids love stickers. John, you're not annoying, kind of whiny, but tolerable for a white guy. So does that mean if, like, black people are whiny, it's not tolerable? Because that seems kind of racist, bro. But okay, let's go through this. White House insists that Trump is joking about canceling the midterm elections. So far in 2026, President Donald Trump has suggested canceling the upcoming midterm elections not once, but twice. His most recent floating of the idea came in an interview with Reuters, during which he discussed concerns that the Republicans could lose seats in the midterms. He's quoted as arguing, "We shouldn't even have an election on account of how much the Trump administration has accomplished." When asked about the comments on Thursday evening, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt brushed off the remarks, telling reporters the president was simply joking, stating that she was present for the interview earlier this week. He was saying, "We're doing such a great job. Maybe we should just keep rolling." But he was speaking facetiously. I like that word, facetiously. And this is one of the more interesting things about, like, all the lack of progress that I think we're having. It doesn't actually ever come from Trump himself. It comes from people in his administration and Congress, the illegitimate Congress, by the way. But they're stonewalling him. There are good people in Trump's administration. I'm not trying to say that. I mean, I don't know who they are or which ones they are. but I'm sure they exist. But they're the ones that are causing the problems. They're the ones that, the reason we don't have accountability or whatever, it's not because of Trump. It's because he's allowing them to play it out the way they're playing it out. We're getting that narrative again, though, about ending the filibuster. I saw Elon Musk shared a post about that today. Maybe it was today or yesterday. I don't remember. But he shared one of those Twitter shills. I think it was Gunther Eagleman or something. And let's see if I can find it. Oh, man. I have to go back. Always. Hold for processing. Or you could just take my word on it, I guess. But come on. When did I see this? Is it that far back? Yeah, okay. I'm not scrolling. Just take my word for it or go look for yourself. Elon Musk reshared a post of needing to end the filibuster. I just think that's such a silly concept. Like, we think all these things are going on, and I believe all these things are going on behind the scenes, and yet the fate of the entire world rests in ending the filibuster so that the Senate can save us, so that the government can save us from the government. Give me a break. Reminder, people have never gotten booted from a Badlands chat for disagreeing with the streamers. That's true. But they have been booted for being bots or bad faith shills. Phil Scarborough, I will say, starting to wonder about General Flynn. More and more, all he does is bitch about what Trump is doing or what Trump isn't doing and never highlighting or focusing on accomplishments. Yeah, that's actually the thing I said earlier that I wanted to talk about on OnlyLands. I think we've talked about this before. I don't know General Flynn like well or personally. Like I've got his number. I've texted him before. Really, my only hang up with Flynn outside of like the social media stuff, I'm saying is we've tried to get him to come to conferences. And I think I've alluded to this. I've never said who it was, but we've tried to get him to come to conferences before, and I've like spoken to his scheduler and have had people in his ear about it. And he's been interested and he's been willing to come, but like a huge speaking fee. Like I understand I would pay for flights and travel and like hotel or whatever, lodging, food, like expenses to get there for him and his like security team. That's what they ask. And I was like, okay, I'd be willing to do that, but I'm just on principle alone, I'm not willing to pay anybody a speaking fee outside the Badlands house. That's it. And that's just like a rev share thing. Depending on how much we make in virtual ticket sales, everybody gets a little piece of it. But I'm not willing to pay anybody outside of it. And so like when they gave me the number, which was very high, I was like, no, it's like, I'm not going to pay anything. So I didn't even negotiate. It probably could have came down. I don't know. But I wasn't willing to do it. And I just, my issue with it, like I understand people wanting to make a living and like charging for that stuff. Great. Like you should. But it's like, we've been doing this local action, national impact thing with the Badlanders groups. Like we've been living it. We've been doing it. And he was made aware of that, and then to like, it just felt weird. It felt weird to me. But again, like I would never charge to go speak somewhere like that, but I don't knock anybody who does. I just wish he could have gave us a free discount, right? So maybe that's on me, not him. But yeah, I would never pay anybody to come speak at any of our conferences. The principle of it. How much was it? I mean, I don't know if I have I don't know if I should say, like, I don't know if it's not $100,000, but it's not $0. It's about in the middle. I'll say that. Oh, by the way, guys, if you do watch, and you have been booted from our chats, like we will, if you reach out to us, outside of Rumble, obviously, because you can't chat. If you reach out to us like on Telegram or Twitter and ask to be unblocked, we'll unblock you. Little higher than that, Bravest. I said about in the middle. And I'm sure it's like it's probably public, and he's probably charged more than that to other people. Like I've heard that he's charged like $75K or $100K for other events. That is not what he charged us, or what he asked for. I guess it wasn't a charge, but like that's what his speaker fee was, and I just said no. Oh, did I already say it? My bad. Tattoo teacher, I paid $200 to speak the Flynn VIP for 10 minutes, so take that as a barometer. You, RR Hody, you could send me an invite. You would only have to pay to get me to leave. You could come to a GART. I won't pay to get you to a GART because I have to pay to get everybody else to the GART. But anyway, I don't know why I got stuck down this rabbit hole. I think it was Phil Scarborough's fault. Anyway, the elections. Yeah, canceling the elections, it's a funny concept because it's what we did with Ukraine and everybody like celebrated that. I mean, whatever the war that they're in. But let's go to the Reuters article, actually. Let's do this because this is where there's a whole bunch of questions on a whole bunch of different topics. Very worth reading anyway. U.S. President Donald Trump said Wednesday that Iranian opposition figure Reza Pahlavi seems very nice, but expressed uncertainty whether Pahlavi would be able to muster support within Iran to eventually take over. Now, this is interesting because Iran's going through their own little whatever they're going through, regime change. Maybe it's their own color revolution. I don't know. I haven't followed that as much as like a ghost has. But it does seem that this person, this Pahlavi guy, and is this the one that's, let me double check who this is. How do you spell that? Pahlavi. Yeah, this is the guy whose dad was like the king of Iran for a long time. So they want to go back to like monarchy there by putting this guy in there, except this time they want to do it democracy style. They're saying he seems like the regime candidate. Okay. He seems like the Marina Katuda Badada, whatever her name is, of Venezuela. Like the regime is trying to put her in there. CIA, essentially. This guy seems the same thing. And we're going to talk about her too. She was at the White House yesterday. It was very funny. But anyway, back to this story. Trump has repeatedly threatened to intervene in support of protests in Iran, where thousands of people have been reported killed in a crackdown on the unrest against clerical rule. But he was reluctant on Wednesday to lend his full support to Pahlavi, the son of the late Shah of Iran, who was ousted from power in 1979. He seems very nice, but I don't know how he'd play within his own country. And we really aren't up to that point yet. I don't know whether or not his country would accept his leadership. And certainly if they would, that would be fine with me. And this is the thing. It isn't up to Trump. Like, Trump shouldn't be the one who decides who's in charge of another country, whether that's Iran or Venezuela or anybody else. It should be up to those people. The unfortunate thing is we don't have a method of actually reflecting what the people want in their country for leadership and who's the actual leaders of those countries. Like, our elections are fake. There is no election system that we have currently that we can trust and verify. All these places in the world where we're going to look to put in a new regime or a new leader, if they do it democratically with elections, it's going to be fraudulent. It's going to get the result that the regime wants. And that's the thing we got to avoid. See, I don't know who other candidates for leadership in Iran is. I have no idea, and I don't care. And Trump has the right mindset here. If the people want it, that's fine. If that's who they actually want. But how do you implement a system that can actually reflect that? That's the issue. We don't have it here. They don't have it in Iran. They don't have it in Venezuela. We don't have it anywhere, as far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong. Heard of democratic socialism? Now we have democratic monarchy. As usual, we're being lied to about Iran. Totally agree. CanCon pointed out that he's just like Machado in Venezuela. Both are being pushed by CIA in the same way, 100%. He will install Marco Rubio as Iranian interim leader. This is a great comment, Bravest. This is like faith in spirituality. We do not have the brain power or information to actually understand anything. And that's so true. I mean, I feel like we have the brain power. It's the lack of information that is really troubling. Like, we do our best to parse through like what we're seeing, but it is so hard to figure out what is actually going on when everything you see online is a psyop. Everything. It's lack of information. And that's where the faith in Trump does come in, because he's the one with access to more information in the world than anybody else. He has the most information of anybody. And I believe he's a good, moral, and honest person. I mean, honest is a term I would maybe honest-ish. I give him the benefit of the doubt, though, that he has people's best interest in mind, and that he's using that information for us, not against us. CSUSB Geochem, isn't that a black pill? Which part? What do you mean? John, the Crown Prince is on the record saying that he doesn't want to be put at the head of Iran for decades. He wants to help with the transition and set up a democratic parliament to let the people vote. Yeah. Do you know this guy? Do you trust him? He says that. It's the same thing Zelensky's saying, and he's been in power over there for how long? We'll talk about him too. Badlands Media fan, lack of quality and accurate information, bombarded with the opposite kind of info. You cannot be blackpilled if you're a Christian. That's a good point. 2020 Joe, put the money in your pocket. What money are we talking about? Anyway, let's keep going. Opposition fragmented. We'll skip that. Wait, hold on a second. I missed this part. The U.S.-based Pahlavi, 65, has lived outside Iran since before his father was toppled in 1979. He's not even living in the country that he's wanting to be the leader of since 1979. Right now, it is the year 2026. So I'm not stupid. 47 years since he's lived in that country. And they want to install him as the leader? Okay. No, thank you. I guess it doesn't matter. It's not up to me, but so stupid. Let's see what else. They talked about a few other things. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure this is the right article, because they had a few different articles on this. Trump, who's closing out the first year of his second term in office, sat behind his massive Resolute desk and sipped a Diet Coke during the 30-minute interview. At one point, he held up a thick binder of papers he said contained his achievements since being sworn into office on January 20th, 2025. There are pictures here at the top. And I thought this one was risky because there's a phone on the corner of the desk. I don't know whose it is, but if you could open this picture, you could probably see what's on that phone. It won't let me like open it in a new tab or save it as an image. So I guess I can zoom in. It's kind of hard to see though. I tried doing this earlier. It didn't really work. But anyway, I don't think it's Trump's phone because there's two phones in front of him, and now here it's not on the desk. Yeah, look at this goober they got interviewing him. When are they going to let us interview him? Anyway, let's keep going here. At one point, I already read that, but he sought to manage expectations for Republicans in November's congressional midterm elections, noting that the party in power frequently loses seats 2 years after a presidential election. When you win the presidency, you don't win the midterms, he said, but we're going to try very, very hard to win the midterms. And I know us dutiful citizens will vote very, very hard as well. Our level of voting will be equal to or greater than their level of trying hard. Zelensky, Trump, who has struggled throughout his presidency to end Russia's war in Ukraine, despite campaign boasts that he could end it in a day, said Zelensky is the main impediment to resolving the 4-year-old war. I'd just like to point out that I said impediment right. I sometimes struggle with that word. It's a good day today. Trump has frequently criticized both President Vladimir Putin and Zelensky, but seemed more downbeat once again on the Ukrainian president. I'm pretty sure this is exactly what I said was going to happen. After the last time they met, Zelensky came to the White House. He had a call with Putin before, and then they have this meeting, come up with a plan, and then all of a sudden everybody's mad at Zelensky, and he's the problem. They're going to talk about how he needs to be removed. They need to have an election in Ukraine, and then whatever. and then it'll be like silent for a while, and then they'll come together again. Peace talks will like be really getting close this time, and then somebody will come to the White House, like Zelensky, and they'll all fall apart again. It's a cycle, vicious cycle. But yeah, they're saying Putin's ready to make a deal. Asked what the holdup is, Trump said simply, Zelensky. We've got to get President Zelensky to go along with it. And speaking of like democracy and all those things, this guy hasn't had an election in like 3 years. He's 3 years past due. But yet he's the one that the people haven't voted for. And even the elections they did have were probably illegitimate. He's the one holding up the whole thing. That doesn't seem right either. Simul10 for $5 says, I've been sus of Flynn since Burns suggested he should be VP under Condoleezza Rice. Is that true? I did not know that, if that's true. He also said Flynn is his handler in his last interview. The WTF to both those things. I missed that last interview where he said that Flynn was his handler. Seems weird, but I don't know what to make that. Patrick Burns is the one who's like, yeah, I am CIA, and then he calls Flynn his handler. I don't know. But I mean, there's really two things going on with that entire group. Like, there's a whole segment there surrounding that group of people, and they're pushing they're very lockstep with the op that they're doing. It's just whether or not it's good or bad. And you don't have to know whether it's good or bad to just recognize the op and choose to like defect from it. Just don't participate. Ash 1776 for $5. Thank you, Ash. Says Badlands Blitz tomorrow, only on Substack. BB and Ash talk top stories and Badlander comments from the week in the Badlands Brief. It's at 10 a.m. Eastern, badlands.substack.com. I've heard that show is really good. I did not watch the first episode, but I'll probably watch tomorrow because Ash is on it. I'm just going to patiently await my invite to join the show. Need a laser pointer to stay focused on the right narratives. Yeah. Lines 54, loose lips sink ships. Flynn is not a bad guy, says Bravest. Yeah, I don't get that impression when I've met him and spoken to him. I don't get that impression. But it's okay. Like, it's okay to ask questions of anybody. You can ask questions of me too, right? Tattoo teacher, the ops in Ukraine are taking too long for the narrative. Alabama Christian, I think the fact that seats are lost is fake due to fake elections. Anyway, let's keep going here. Talking about Republican lawmakers, Trump said, or he dismissed Senate Republicans who have vowed to block his Fed nominees over concerns that Trump's Justice Department is interfering with central bank's traditional independence with its probe into Fed's Powell. I don't care. There's nothing to say. They should be loyal, he said of party's lawmakers. Trump also rejected criticism from JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon that Trump's meddling into the Fed could spike inflation. Trump says, I don't care what he says. Good for you, Trump. I think this is interesting, though. I mean, do we really care? How long is Trump going to pretend? Because he is pretending. Like, Trump knows that these people aren't America first. He knows what the uniparty is. He knows our elections are fake. He knows all these things. He's playing along. He's operating within the battle space being presented to him. He knows what it means when he says, oh, if we don't do this, we'll lose the midterms. Like, come on. He knows all this. So what does it mean when he says they should be loyal? I think what he's doing, total speculation, I think he's just giving them, he is giving these people so many opportunities to do the right thing, time and time again, and they continuously fail. And the only reason he allows it to keep going, I think, is because we just go along with it. We allow it to happen. And we're like, yeah, and the filibuster, that'll fix everything. There's no way that's true. Trump is set to meet yesterday, with Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado at the White House, their first in-person meeting since Trump directed the arrest of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. She's a very nice woman, Trump said. I've seen her on television. I think we're just going to talk basics. Machado won the Nobel Peace Prize last year and dedicated it to Trump. She's offered to give him her prize, but the Nobel Committee said the Peace Prize cannot be transferred. There's like a stray dog out my window right now. I think it's the neighbor's dog. That dog pooped in my lawn. I'll deport him. But yeah, there's a couple interesting stories on her being at the White House. What's her name again? I've said her name so many different ways that I don't even know what her actual name is. But she showed up to the White House. She didn't get like a special, entrance or reception. This is them together in a weirdly looking picture of her giving him the Peace Prize. But remember, they said it doesn't actually count. Like, you can't do this. A weird gesture by her. And then there's this from Tapper. And I think it's, let me go to CanCon's page. You have the video. Here we go.
What else do we know about this meeting?
Jake, it's interesting that we actually have not heard that much from the White House on this meeting, or, that was news to us when Machado came out and said that she had presented her prize to the president. It was shocking. It was something we had expected because she had been talking about it. And obviously the president has made his desire to win the Nobel Peace Prize quite clear time and time again, and has repeatedly said that he believes he should have won it in place of Machado, who called him right after she won it. And so, Jake, we did see her arriving here at the White House today, and we were looking at pictures because obviously she is carrying a bag. We've not heard yet confirmation from the White House that the president did indeed receive this.
What else do we know?
Swag bag. Yeah, tattoo teacher. She got let in with the school groups. Like, she didn't get a special reception, which is hilarious. She had to wait in line. Trump does not care about this person. Trump knows that she is the regime puppet. The regime is trying to place her at the top. If the regime had their way, whenever they pulled off their version of the regime change in Venezuela, she would have been the person. Trump's not letting that happen. It's great. Frederick Leathers says, I agree with getting rid of the filibuster. We cannot be scared that if we do something, the Dems will also do it. They did the nuke option and tried to eliminate the filibuster and will pack the court. I don't. Then why haven't they done it yet? Why is it just now? Like, how long have we been a country? How long have we had a Senate? How long has it been an option? How long have we had the filibuster? I don't even know. Neither side has done it until now. Not to say that they won't, but that's like besides the point. The fact that we're expecting people in the government who were illegitimate and fraudulently elected to be the ones to do something so that they can fix all the problems that they themselves have created to benefit themselves. That is not how things work. That is not reality. I say Donald Trump should start talking about packing the court. Mike Irons, you tap danced around the fling question. I guess what was the question? Mike, if you ask it again, I won't tap dance around it. Tattoo teacher, she was treated the same way any of us going to the White House would be. Where's my swag bag? Brava says he needs more weed. Nobody asked about his speaking fees. Somebody in the chat did. Or I guess maybe not. Maybe I did bring that up. But I was just saying that was like my only reservation. I don't remember the question, though. Anyway. True Social post from Trump from Ash. Here we go. It was my great honor to meet Maria Corina Machado of Venezuela today. She's a wonderful woman who has been through so much. Maria presented me with her Nobel Peace Prize for the work I've done. Such a wonderful gesture of mutual respect. Thank you, Maria. How long do you think the Nobel Peace Prize is even going to be a thing? Why is it even a thing? Like, where do they get their money from? It's a regime award. I know that. Do people is it like a 501c3? And it's clearly retarded. You know what I mean? Like, why do we even have it? Trump needs to create his own Peace Prize, the Trump Peace Prize, and then award it to himself first. Go. I heard the Dakota is referred to as Nodak and Sodak last night. Is that a real thing? That is a real thing. Black Hat Destroyer, there are reports of ICE agents making their rounds through the New Jersey towns of Lakewood, Keensburg, and Freehold, trying to confirm. Is that where you're from? Curious. That's true. Are things the same now in the parties that there was 10 years ago? That's a good question. I was not paying attention 10 years ago. I really wasn't. So I don't know. I don't know what things were like 10 years ago. But I got to imagine, I mean, the power structures, the infrastructure of how like power is wielded by Congress and these government officials, I don't think it's changed that much. Because it hasn't changed that much since like 2016. People are talking about it more. People seem fed up more. Which is a great thing. I think that's been the point, right? There's all these issues and things going on in our country that people can recognize now, and they don't like it. That's a good thing. That's a type of friction we need. We need more of. But then isn't interesting, the people who are speaking up about those things, those concerns, they get called black pillars and like ostracized and threatened, like, oh, you're going to cost the midterms. Trump cannot even get vacant positions filled. Not sure how you would pack the court. It's a great point. Yeah, to pack the court, you need Congress to do anything. Richard Rohr, I've stopped calling the DOJ FBI about my spot on domestic terrorists watch list, so that's a good thing. Wife got mad when they called back. That's funny. And you guys are cruising. I'm trying to catch up here. Did you say retarded? Did I say that? If I did, I trademark. Can't take it. It's mine. Was awarding her the Nobel the intentional setup of the story now? Yeah, that's a great point. I feel like somebody said that before. Maybe Chris? Jessica Storm is freezing. You're in Florida and you're freezing. You should see here. We have a warning for how windy it is right now. It's like it's so windy and very cold and a little snowy. So I'm trying to catch up. Whiskey Meyer, I signed up for Badlands Local and haven't heard back. Any suggestions? Where'd you sign up? Like badlandsmedia.tv/groups? Typically, you'll get somebody will reach out to you. Where are you located? 197-319-87. You are so on point with this, John. I agree. I probably am, but which part? John, it's like 50 degrees in Florida. We might not make it. How much snow are you getting right now? We're not getting a bunch of snow. It just snowed a little bit. It's been nice here last like couple weeks, week and a half. It's been like 40s, 50s, like outside. Me and my son were playing football catch in the backyard the last couple days. But then today, no such luck. PJ Corrigan, you can't just say trademark and it is so. You don't have that plenary power. I can do what I want, and I did it. You can't tell me what to do, PJ. You can stop distracting me. Let's go back to, I want to get through the rest of this article. I have so many things to get through, and it's 12:45 already. Did I start the show on time? Jeez. I feel like I just started. What have we been talking about? I want to. Oh, that might be it anyway. Trump frequently extolled the strength of the U.S. economy during the interview, despite lingering worries among Americans about prices. He said he will carry that message with him next week to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, where he will stress how great our economy is, how strong our job numbers are, and how good we're doing. We're going to have bilateral meetings with Switzerland, Poland, and Egypt while at the Davos events. That's fun. I have so much to get through. I don't know how I'm going to do this. John is adding a weather segment. It's my fault for reading your chats. I know, but this is my problem. I get too invested in the chat and hanging out with you guys that I forget to talk about things. We had Ratcliffe meet with Venezuela's interim leader in Caracas. I don't know why, but she reminds me of, does she look like an actor or something? Like, I don't know why her face is familiar. It just feels familiar to me, and I don't know why. But anyway, CIA Director John Ratcliffe met with Delcy Rodriguez. Ratcliffe's 2-hour meeting with Rodriguez, held at the direction of President Trump, focused on intelligence cooperation, economic stability, and the goal of ensuring that Venezuela is no longer a safe haven for America's adversaries, especially narco traffickers. The officials said the discussions were aimed at building trust between the U.S. and the Venezuelan government. Am I too far zoomed in? Oh, what is this? Transition. Period. Trump and Rodriguez also spoke by phone on Wednesday, with both leaders describing the call as positive. Since the U.S. military operation that led to Maduro's ouster, Washington has not called for the opposition to take power, instead signaling that Rodriguez is seen as a stabilizing interim leader capable of maintaining order. Oh, that's during this word transition is supposed to be down here. I will see what I can do to get that fixed. PJ Corrigan, hanging with John, my favorite 60 minutes of the day. Never change, brother. Thanks, PJ. Are you going to join for gaming if we do that this weekend? You should. But isn't that funny? The Ratcliffe was in Venezuela at the same time that, like, the CIA, Trump's CIA was in Venezuela at the same time as the Venezuelan CIA candidate was at the White House with Trump. That's serendipitous. And I don't know if that is the correct use of that word for this context, but I'm going to roll with it. Federal judge has blocked DOJ access to voter records in California and Oregon. This is the same thing that happened with that executive order that Trump signed in 2017, wanting to go through all the voter rolls and purge the voter rolls and address the election fraud and all that stuff. The task force that he created, they had to disband eventually because all the blue states fought him on everything. And they're like, okay, well, whatever. We're not going to win this. Let's just roll all this info into the DHS and shut her down. And that's what he did. Now it's like they're trying to do it again. And these judges, like, eventually this stuff will get up to the Supreme Court, I'm sure. But we'll see what happens. Trump announced a board of peace role as Gaza plan enters next phase. I think, did I talk about that yesterday? Don't remember. Did I talk about this yesterday? Trump threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act if Minnesota leaders don't curb ICE protests? Because this is an interesting one. Very interesting one. Like, the Insurrection Act is something we've been waiting for so long, and many people speculated it's already been implemented. I don't think it has been. I think it could have been. Like, Trump could have used this many times during his first term. He could have done it with the election stuff. He could have done it after the election stuff and during the J6 stuff. Like, he could have used the Insurrection Act many, many times, and he's shown restraint in doing so. And I don't necessarily expect that to change. Because I'm pretty sure he's threatened to use, and by threatened, I mean, I don't mean that in a negative connotation. I'm saying he's talked about using the Insurrection Act on many occasions, but he's never done it as far as we know. And I think it is because of the optics of it. Much like I think he walked away to avert a civil war in 2021. I think there are some, for whatever reason, I think in order for him to keep the mandate of, like, the people, and I'm not even saying, I don't even think a majority of people would be against him invoking the Insurrection Act. There's got to be a reason he hasn't done it yet. Maybe it's because of the fake midterms. I don't know. I kind of want to see it, though. I want to see him implement the Insurrection Act for so many different reasons, but I think mainly because I want to see how the left reacts to it. They're going to shit themselves. He probably already did it skeptical. It's very possible he could have. New case, those times their Civil War financial backing is pretty much running on fumes. Wait till Trump. Will Trump wait until it's so bad that people demand it? Could be. Richard Rohr, John, did you hear anything about 12 judges being arrested? I have not heard that. 12 judges arrested. Let's see what comes up. On January 8th, 2026, the FBI arrested 12 sitting judges across Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas in a major corruption probe. What? Is this true? I don't know.
need to discuss something that happened this week that strikes at the very foundation of our justice system and raises profound questions.
Is there like an actual news source on this? Need to. I want to find if I can like see anything legitimate on this. It'd be on the DOJ website, right? DOJ. And the reason I'm curious because I happen to be in the middle of a ridiculous lawsuit right now. And it's the judges in Arizona. That's where I'm being sued. So I'm curious. The Panda Droid, good to see you. It's not the left will crap themselves. It's the criminals who are taking part of the global crime will crap themselves. People need to get out of this party mindset. True. I mean, that's a good point in terms of like the mindset of people. Like when we talk about our opposition, I still do it sometimes, even though I know it's like it's a uniparty construct. It's the epitome of the controlled opposition dynamic that they have us in. It's left versus right. Everything's left versus right. When really it should be like an us versus them type thing. I need more info on this judges thing though, because I don't feel like it's true. And now I'm starting to wonder where you get your news and information from. Richard Rohr. John, stop sourcing your stories from the fake news. Guys, the whole point of this show is to go through fake news and talk about it. Typically talking about how fake it is. Keep rolling here. I'm trying to find my next article I want to talk about. The senators are threatening to block Trump's Greenland grab. So yeah, like, hey guys, please end the filibuster. You know, once you're done trying to block Trump from doing what he's doing, please, you know, end the filibuster so that Trump can keep doing what he's doing and wants to do. These people are our enemy. Here's another midterm story. This is from yesterday. Abortion opponents threaten to withhold midterm support amid rift with Trump. That's retarded. There's no way that's true. There's this story on Politico. I don't think I'm going to get into this because I'm like out of time. But how do you prosecute another country's president? Politico, left-wing reg. I get it. But like the questions they're asking here are not that far off base. Kind of the points I've been raising. So I'll put this in the chat if you guys want to read it. Ricky Irish, John, I'm not seeing any legit reports from fake news outlets on the judges, only possibly real reports from unknown posts. Make a keys girl, then you should call your show the John Comedy Hour. I don't find myself that funny. I don't understand how some people can say it's the left and the right that are bad, and then on top, but still hate Trump. Yeah, I don't get how people can still hate Trump. Tina Peters, make sure you guys tune into Why We Vote Tonight. Here's another one. Senate asked, look at this. Senators hold bipartisan secret meeting to reshape FEMA. The move by about a dozen senators came as Donald Trump threatens to reduce the agency's role in disaster recovery. Really, he's trying to reduce their role in money laundering. Doesn't the Insurrection Act allow National Guard to be deployed outside their state? I think it just allows Trump to like basically do whatever he needs to do to quell the insurrection. But yes, to answer your question simply. 12 anybody, look in the mirror. That is why people find you funny. I'm with Chris. I will not vote to elect fake to fake. I'm writing in my candidates. PJ Corrigan, that's the whole fucking point. You find out what's really going on by dissecting the news, and then via reverse psychology, we try to translate what's really going on. Love your sense of humor, John, but definitely see when people don't get it. Yeah, I might be a little too thick sometimes on the sarcasm, but I'm not gonna change. I'm not gonna change that. I'm not gonna stop that. It's on you guys to change yourselves to better find me more funny. It's on you guys. That's what I demand. Iceland demands answers from U.S. after Trump ally cracks 50-second state joke. Didn't I crack that joke originally? Hold up. Or maybe I said 53rd state. Oh, there was something else. It was back during the H-1B thing. Trump could solve this entire debate by making India the 53rd state. So never mind. I'll stop whining about them stealing my joke. But yeah, Iceland's all mad about them going after Greenland, and then somebody made a joke about, yeah, we'll go to Iceland next, and like, okay, whatever. Sit down, shut up. I'm trying to click through the rest of my tabs here. I'm not even gonna bother. Whatever, we're done. I'll just hang out with you guys for a little bit. It's way more fun. What pisses me off is the 46 Republicans that voted with Democrats not to do these defund Judge Boasberg and start impeachment. Primary, all of them, they're Democrats in disguise as Republicans. Yeah, but what does primarying even do? Like, what does it even mean? Because when we primary people, primary is where we get most of the, like, these bad candidates in. Because it's like the first phase of their whole controlled opposition dynamic. They have a whole host of regime puppet candidates that have an R next to their name. Any legit people that are like actually in it for the right reasons, it's very difficult to get a foot in the door. The system is so stupid and so against like earnest people that want to do the right thing. Most of those people don't even run for office in the first place, but if they try to, you're up against all sorts of obstacles to even win the primary. But then once you do, you just have two regime puppets, one with an R, one with a D, going against each other. So primarying these people, we'll take the victory lap, like, oh yeah, we finally got Mitch McConnell out of there or whatever, Thomas Massey. But then the next man up is just going to be another regime puppet. Colleen text, you have blinders on. What do I have blinders on? Like, what am I not seeing? What do you see that I do not see? Enlighten me. The panel's right. If you have politicians getting paid with a Federal Reserve note, you already know it's all fake. Yes, I know we use it for goods and services, but the point is our system is fake and controlled. Yes. Kiss my left nut, dickhead, says Richard Rohr. I don't know what you guys said to piss him off, but I won't personally do that. Get robbed. The inmates will never fix the prisons like asking Congress to fix itself. I Love Pie says it's because not enough of us participate in the primaries. I don't know. I don't think us like participating in a system that is designed, it's like inherently designed to be fraudulent. I don't think participating in that more is going to change the outcomes of the system. Especially the longer we go not fixing these problems, the harder it is to, I don't know, the harder it is to get me to want to participate in it. Ash, I'm going to see Harry the alpaca on Monday. That's cute. I want to go see my alpaca. That's one of the places I want to go this year at some point is Colorado to see the soft disclosure farm. Ash 7076, I think he gets to lose his virginity this year. Golden age. Let's LFG. I'm hoping for the same thing for myself. Big year for both me and my alpaca. Have to send more pictures though, Ash. You say black box. Nunya says Insurrection Act. Military assists civilian law enforcement under law, martial law. Military replaces civilian authority due to total breakdown. Ooh, okay. That actually reminded me of something. What you just said there. Military replaces. Hold on. Where's it at? Military replaces civilian authority due to total breakdown. Check this out. I found this on, if I can find my tabs. So pretty much every day I check the Department of Defense instructions and memorandums page. And if you go to their home, they have this new one up. Recent publications. Borrowed military manpower and the use of military personnel to perform civilian functions. I haven't had a chance to read through it yet. So, I mean, it's pretty short. I just found this literally before going live. Oh no, what I didn't do, I didn't update us on the Doge website. There's no new savings, hasn't changed. Silver is, I think, just under 90. Yeah, gold is for 4,600. Bitcoin is at 94.9. Anyway, I feel like I have ADHD right now. I'm jumping all over the place. And there's no update on the presidential website either, by the way. This phrase, though, reminded me of what you said. Borrowed military manpower and use of military personnel to perform civilian functions. And what you said, Nunya, if I can pull that back up, was military replaces civilian authority due to total breakdown. But yeah, Ash, I need to figure this out. You're like our legal expert here. If an alpaca named after me has babies, do I get to like are those my baby? Do I get to choose the name of those babies? Am I responsible for those alpaca babies? And what do you call baby alpacas? Like dogs, puppies, cats, kittens, alpacas. What's the baby form? You should go help him. You're not going to, this is skeptical, you're not going to fix shit unless you confront that Zionism is the globalist tool to take over. I mean, you're not wrong. In my opinion, the winners of the primaries are the ones who are going to contribute the most to the U.S. versus them theme and draw and the most campaign donations. I think there's a typo in there. Oh, looking back to the past when Badlands chatters might have disagreed, but didn't tweak over John or chatters because they may mess with each other. Some people take things too seriously. Yeah, you got to have fun with all this stuff. Otherwise, you will go insane. John has the best engagement with the chat of all the Badlands baddies. It's a fact. I try my best. That's what this show's about. Engage with all of us. It's for all of us. So what did they change from the original doc? The original doc, or the change one, summary change one is, this change extends the expiration date for the directive type memorandum to May 28th of 2027. It corrects title errors and converts language in accordance with the October 10th, 2025 Secretary of War memorandum. I wonder if it says what that was. Normally they have like a annex in here of the citing authorities. Oh yeah, right here, October 10th. Secondary titles. Yeah, I'll read through this in full, and if it's anything interesting, I'll let you guys know. Or you guys can go read through it too. I suppose I can share it with you. John owes child support now. I see, that's the thing. I can't afford more child support. John, you get first choice or right of first refusal for alpaca calves. Is that what they're called? Calves? Okay. You just get their contributions to future soft disclosure. That's a good point. So if they are now if they're going to be contributing in the future to produce the ingredients for soft disclosure, does that mean we get a discount? Since, I mean, it's technically those are my things now, making lotions or whatever part we use of that. I don't even know. I have no idea what part of the alpacas we use, if any, in the lotion or the tallow bar or the beard oil. But I have so many questions now. Ash 1776, you have the same rights as a godfather, but without the contract. Pasitos? We do have a lot of great shows. And people, I've gotten like requests from a couple of the hosts to add more. Like I know Jordan Sather wants to add another day of Maha. And we have another, I have to talk to some people about the other one, but always looking to add more content. Don't make lotion from the male alpaca's milk. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I think Gator Rob is Gator Rob acting up again? Saying my girlfriend has too much power? I don't know. If you come in and like talk shit about people, that'll get you banned. That's not like good faith. It's one thing to do it like jokingly and like, oh, John sucks, whatever, ha. And like, John sucks, like, fuck that guy. You just do that repeatedly. Eventually, like, yeah, like nobody wants you here. We'll boot you out. It's like, don't make a thing of it. Don't play victim, Gator. Love the show up on Badlands. I thought the show was under an hour. Is it not? Oh, yeah, we went over. Yeah, my bad. Yesterday I had Ash on for the whole show. And, I mean, it was great. It was a great show. But obviously, I didn't get through any news stories yesterday. And I feel like I didn't today either. I don't know what happened today. But Ash didn't join me today. So, weird day. 12 anyway, I only said it once and you beat me up. This has been a great meeting. I agree. This has been a fun show. But you guys should all tune in tonight on OnlyLands. That's also a great meeting of the minds. Ash was one of your best. I don't remember any of it. I feel like I blacked out. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. If you really did like this show, you should probably go tell like all your friends and family about it and have them come watch too. But yeah, I'm going to get out of here. See you on OnlyLands tonight. I think Ghost is live right now, so I'll probably send you all over there. Let me double check that. And before I leave, I'm just going to tell you guys, we won't watch the actual ad spot for it, but a great way to support Badlands Media, other than like, you know, you can go and subscribe to everybody's own personal Substack channels. You can support the creators you like. You can buy products from all of our sponsors. I mean, we have great sponsors, great products, great merch, whatever. Soft Disclosure is the one that is ours. Like, that is our company. It is one of the best ways to directly support, unless you're like subscribing to us on Rumble or Substack or giving donations. It's the best way to give something and get something in return, because the products you get in return are fantastic. The lotion, the towel bar, the beard oil, the deodorant's incredible. All of it is. And in the process, not only are you supporting Badlands Media, but you are supporting 5 American companies. Every purchase. You are putting your money where your morals are, softdisclosure.com. And you are also assisting me in my journey to become the world's best lotion tycoon. And I feel like I'm already there. I feel like I'm already at the top. Like, this feels like life at the top of the lotion industry. But I feel like I can go higher. And you guys can help me do that. Softdisclosure.com. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tonight on OnlyLands. Have fun in Gordon's chat. And yeah.
Read all about it.
2, 3. Let's get started.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's real good.
Why they stopping me?